Okay, let's talk about the domain. If you have a problem like this, f of x equals 6x minus x squared, what is your domain? Meaning, what can you use for values for x? Is there a value for x that if you plug it in, you will not have an answer?
When it's equal to 0.
6 times 0?
No, when the function's equal to 0.
Function can be 0, that's okay. So this will be all real numbers. There's not a value that if you plug it in, you will not have an answer. So for this, the domain will be all real numbers. All of them. Where you're going to have a problem when you see a problem like this. F of x equals 4 over x minus 3. There's a number I can see quickly where if I plug it in, I will not have an answer. 3. Why? When you have a fraction, the bottom cannot be 0. 0 on the bottom is a problem. So here we write that the domain x does not equal to 3. When you see that, that means any number but 3. If I have this problem, 5x minus 7 over 6x minus x squared. Okay. X cannot be 0. What else?
6.
6? Why 6?
Because when you do 6 times 6,
Yep.
you get a
Yep.
0.
Yep, correct. Yep. So if basically what I do with this, I factor the bottom, which is taking x out, and that's that becomes 6 minus x, right? When you factor an x out. So what value or values will make the bottom 0? 0 is one of them, 6 is another one. So your domain is what? X cannot be 0 or 6. That means any number but these. Now, I'm not sure how the software wants you to write the answer. So I'll go a little bit with it. I'll explain some of the methods of doing it. So it could be like this. They might say, you can say x such that, that's what that means, such that x does not equal to 0 or 6. They could give you that. Or they might just graph it for you. And if they graph it for you, this way you see. There's the 0. There's the 6. What do you notice about both of these will be what? The 0 and the 6. If you don't want to include them, what do you do? How about open circle? Right? Open means not included. So you'll see an open circle here. You'll see an arrow pointing in that direction, is all the way. All these, not including this one, and all of these. Or, lately we've been using square bracket and parentheses. Square bracket means the value is included, parentheses, the value is not included. This is the 0 and the 6. So here we'll use parentheses to say that 0 is not included all the way to the left. This one. And that way. My gut feeling tells me this is probably what you're going to see. But just in case they give you other options, I want to make sure you're clear on them what that means. This one means all the numbers but the 0 and the 6. Same thing with this one. If they want the answer in what we call interval notation, your answer from where to where? from negative infinity all the way to 0. Since infinity you can never reach it, that's not included. To 0, 0 is not included. Union, if you remember set notation, or that's a union. Add to it. From 0 to 6, union, add to it from where? 6 to infinity. And I really have no clue how they want the answer. Again, since our book didn't discuss these, but they probably assume we had that somewhere along the way in tech math or somewhere else. Or pre-calc. I'm just guessing. So I want to make sure we cover all the bases, so you might see that. So for the domain, if you have a fraction, find out what value or values makes the bottom 0, and you can't use them. The other problem you could encounter is when you have a square root for a domain. What's the domain? F of x equals the square root of x plus 7. Your domain is what? Think about a square root. Yes?
X has to be greater than -7. Or less, yeah, greater than -7.
Almost. Greater than or equal to. Because you want to make sure the value under the square root, in this example, it can't be 0, because what's the square root of 0? 0. So you want to make sure what's under the square root is greater than or equal to 0. Can't be negative. And how do you solve this inequality? X is greater than or equal to 7. So again, the answer might be x such that x is greater than or equal to 7. That's your domain. Graphing them, since you are including the 7 will be what? Instead of open circle, it's going to be what? Closed circle.
Isn't it -7?
Oh, -7, thank you. Yep. It is negative, you just can't see it. There we go. -7. Can't fit it really there. I'm just testing you, making sure you're paying attention. So that's greater than or equal to -7, and you go into the right. And then you look, this is the -7, since that's included, we use square bracket to indicate that value is included. Parentheses means not included. Square bracket is included. An interval notation is from where to where? From -7 all the way to where? Infinity. Infinity is not included. -7 is included. Just give me 1 minute. How is that problem? Well, if I change that just a hair, what would the answer be? If I said f of x equals 1 over the square root of x plus 7, how is that different than this? You think there's a difference between them? Yes.
It wouldn't include -7.
Correct. The bottom now cannot be 0. So the only difference, you want x plus 7 to be greater than 0, not equal to, which will make it what? X is greater than -7. So now the -7 here will be an open circle. Open circle, not a closed one. Looks like I closed it here. Is that open? It looks open now. Here we go. Open and to the right. Or in the new look, this is the -7. It's parentheses. Parentheses means not included. And to the right. And that's from -7 all the way to infinity. Neither one is included.